Hey guys, we're back. Well, we just literally ended a live stream like
Yeah,
5 minutes ago.
we
But
literally did a live stream on BoJack Horseman, and now we were supposed to do this yesterday, but I was asleep. Uh, we're gonna review Sing.
yep, well, and we're gonna do it while I'm just sitting here browsing through images of Sing. First off, straight up, when I saw the first trailer of this movie, and I talked about a little bit about this in our 2016 review. When I saw the first trailer for this movie, I thought it was going to be awful. Straight up, the first trailer gave off a kind of a knockoff movie kind of feel to it, like a B movie. I thought it was going to be not a B movie as in like B the
Not Jerry
B
Seinfeld,
no B movie as in like like a second hand
like a
movie.
B rank film.
Yeah, not an A rank
Nothing to get
film.
excited for.
Yeah. All right, so I thought it was going to be a B movie at first and probably on the level of the B movie. I don't know. But I did not see this coming out very well. Second trailer came out and the movie looked fantastic. The second trailer was incredible. It sold the movie beautifully. Third trailer came out. It was iffy. So it left me on iffy. And then you told me how good this movie was. So I went to go see it the other night. And holy crap, was this not a good film?
This was absolutely. I've been looking at reviews for this film. A lot of people didn't like this film.
I don't see why. This film, first off, the animation in this movie was fantastic. Second off, the voice acting was incredible. The singing was
I
incredible.
just want to talk about the voice acting for just a second. All the songs that were sung by characters in the film was the actual voice actors singing. So that's their actual voices.
Which you don't get that very often.
No, and a lot of these people were really talented. Like Seth MacFarlane singing Frank Sinatra songs was just great. Tori Kelly,
That mouse,
yeah,
Mike the Mouse. We're gonna get that when we talk about characters.
uh,
I
Tor-
loved that mouse.
yeah, we'll get there when we get there. But like, they were all so good.
Oh yeah, yeah. The acting was good. A lot of something that a lot of people miss when it comes to voice acting is the actual acting part of voice acting.
The actual putting in like emotions and such. It's not just a dry
Yeah, in the animation and the facial features, like you really felt like the elephant Melina, wasn't that her name?
Mina.
Mina. You really felt like she was scared.
Yeah,
She had her ears in the entire time. Straight up out of 10, what do you give it?
I gave it a 8 out of 10. It was my it was my fourth favorite film of the year.
All right, I'll give it sort of an 8.3. I'll go a little higher than you. Not quite as much. No movie really hit that 9 mark for me this year. Maybe Zootopia, maybe.
Finding Dory hit the 9 for me, but
Well, I haven't seen it, so I can't really judge it. But
we're not
fine,
here to talk about
Zootopia, like I say, Rogue One is my favorite movie of the year, but that's just because of Star Wars and I'm insanely biased. But this year's perfect movie to me was Zootopia. I love animation. I adore animation, especially when you have animals talking. Like I'm not a furry or anything. I just love talking animals.
it. Those have been around forever though.
No, it has. It has. Wait. Like
Like
my favorite animated movie is Robin Hood. You know that. That's my
yeah,
ringtone.
ringtone.
No, I like Lion King. I love Lion King. I love Disney. I love the Disney style talking animal movies. I'm a sucker for them. And Sing blew most of them away.
Yeah.
Also, it stayed ahead of me the entire time.
It did a really good job of always managing to be a step ahead. Like
All right. Spoilers from this point out.
so from the moment that everyone lines up for the $100,000 grand prize, which we all know was a lie,
Yeah.
we already knew they were gonna break into it at some point.
Yes, but we never knew when. We never
We
knew
didn't,
how.
and I didn't expect it to be in the dead middle of the film.
No.
I expected
You
it to be really close to the end.
Yeah. And another great thing about this film is that the trailers gave nothing away.
Yes, and that's something I have to commend this film for. I wish more movies would be like that, where the trailer is the same, like 3 or 4 scenes, just in a different rotation, where it shows nothing about the film.
I honestly thought, and Zootopia did good by this too. I honestly thought I had the movie figured out going into it. All right. I thought I already figured it out from the trailers. I had no clue. The fact that the theater was demolished, and it was demolished beautifully too.
Yeah, I just have to say though, I felt bad because I watched it again yesterday, and I felt so bad for laughing at the part where the woman from the bank was like nailing down the sign that says for sale, and then she looks straight at Buster and just goes boom. I must have laughed I laughed so hard, and I felt so bad.
All right, no, I felt my favorite character in the movie was the mouse. My second favorite was Ash. Like my favorite in the character in the movie because I thought he was so funny was the mouse.
Oh no, my favorite was Johnny the gorilla.
Oh well, when you're talking about a character for the sake of being a character, Johnny and Ash were the two most fleshed out and most
I would disagree as I would
okay.
disagree with
What the mother pig? What was her name? Rosita.
Rosita. I would either say Rosita or even Buster were the most fleshed out characters.
Okay. All right. All right. Besides Buster Moon,
Oh, besides Buster Moon, then
as
I
in the
would probably.
singers, as in the singers.
Oh, then Johnny and Rosita.
Okay. Yeah, Rosita did get a lot of time. Johnny though was the one that they Johnny and Rosita were the two that they showed off in the trailers.
The most.
But Ash, they never really even shown in the trailers. But I think she took the storm from when it came to especially her song. She had the best song. By the way, I got an echo.
How bad?
It's bad. It's hard to talk. All right, it's gone now. But Ash, best song.
Her original song or her audition song?
The song that she sang in the end of the movie.
Oh, okay. I would disagree that she had the best song, but I actually think Mike had the best song at the end of the film.
Okay. He had the best performance though, swinging around on a mic,
swinging around with a helicopter above him.
But I fucking love this mic. I love this mouse. Okay, this guy, you rooted for him the entire film. He's the worst character in the film, worse than the gorillas, worse than the bears chasing him. He's manipulative.
And by worst, we mean he's like a bad person, not a terrible character.
He's a terrible person. Like this guy follows this girl, tries to follow her, and then he wins her over by lying about the fact that he has a lot of money, by lying to the bank that he's about to win, that he has a lot of money, because he thinks he has enough talent. He literally steals money from a dude at the beginning of the movie. Like that made me fall in love with him. And he turned around, he's like, "Empty your pockets now."
Yeah, the dude throws in a penny and he like mugs, like a little mouse mugs a big old, like I think it was a gazelle.
Yeah.
For like $10 or something.
Yeah, but no one around him cares. Like he did it in a way that looks like the guy robbed the mouse.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
But so one problem that a lot of people had with this film was the music choices.
Okay.
And I can see why, because the film is very biased to like older music.
Mm-hmm.
I like when the movie starts, the very first song that plays is Golden Slumbers and Carry That Weight by the Beatles. That is a song from like 1967.
It also had a good amount of I remember when I first saw it, I thought it was going to be all pop music.
Yeah, a lot of the trailers I really thought it was going to be like mostly pop music, and I was very happy that it was like classic rock and big band music.
That's one of the things that was going to turn me away from it, was it was just going to be pop music. Like a scene that they showed in the trailers a lot was the bunnies saying, "Look at her butt."
Yeah, singing Nicki Minaj's
the
Anaconda
song. Yeah.
Yeah, and or the buffalo
off.
and snail singing "All You Do Is Win."
Yeah, those two kind of turned me off.
But there is some bias for me. I personally really liked most of the songs they chose because I really like classic rock and big band music.
I'll be honest, I didn't recognize most of the songs they chose.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew almost every single song they chose. There's over 80 songs in this film.
Well, you see, I'm not a song guy. I'm the songs that I do choose, I follow a cult following. I only follow those songs. It's really rare for me to get introduced to new music.
So I actually want to go down the list of each character and talk about their performances and the character as a whole.
All right, cool. Where do you want to start?
So, we'll go through all the singers and then we'll do Buster last.
All right, Buster and Eddie last.
We'll do Buster and Eddie and.
Ooh, let's start with Nana.
Okay, so Nana,
first character we see in the movie, basically.
The first character of the film. We see her walking up the stairs of a
By the way,
play.
which was beautiful. All right,
Yeah,
so it gave me chills. That's the only time in the movie that I actually had chills. It gave me chills.
it was a great way to start off this film, and she was singing uh, "Carry That Weight" by the Beatles, and that was such an impactful song. Which that song really carries the message of the film. You have to carry your own weight.
Yeah, and just seeing a theater, you know, like honestly, I didn't even think that was the beginning. I didn't think it was going to be like a flashback. I thought that was his theater when he owned it at its prime. I
That's
didn't
what
think
I
it was.
thought it was too.
Yeah,
But then it zooms in on Buster, and that's he's like maybe 5 or 6.
which he never grew from that point, if you notice.
Yeah, he grew a little bit
All
more,
right,
but
he was
that was about
basically the same height as he was at 5 and 6 as he is at full grow.
yeah. But Nana was easily one of the highlights of the film, and I loved that she was related to Eddie.
Yeah, yeah.
It there really wasn't much to say about her. She was in no pun intended. She was the black sheep though.
Okay.
She stood out.
Oh yeah. One of the things I loved about that scene is it reminded me of a local theater at the city I live in. I don't want to give a name of the city or where I'm
Yeah,
from, but the theater is a very historic theater. It's had its primes, it's had its low times, but that scene reminded me a lot of that one in the color choices of the seats and the color
it,
choices of
it
everything.
does look a lot like that theater. I know
Yeah.
exactly what it does look a lot like it.
Yeah. And I
Um,
absolutely love that theater, and I've been in it and seen a few movies in it a couple of times. I don't think they do live performances as much as in plays. I know they do comedic acts, but not plays. Um, but it was
um,
absolutely beautiful. That scene.
it was easily the scene that like if you had any skepticism going into this film, it said, "Follow me."
Yeah,
Um,
it said this is
so
going to be good.
so Eddie, the sheep, he was voiced by John C. Riley, which was a great casting choice.
The hold on. First off, the casting in this movie was fantastic.
Yes, this is nothing but like top tier actors and actresses.
Scarlett Johansson,
Reese Witherspoon.
John C. Riley, Matthew McConaughey, Nick Offerman. These are brand name actors
These are A-list actors for the most part,
for an
and they're in a singing animated film. That's not Disney.
a singing animated film with animals.
That's not Disney.
And it's the third prominent talking animal movie this year.
Zootopia. This
Secret Life of Pets. Actually, fourth.
fourth,
Not
Finding
Finding
Dory.
Dory.
Yeah, and I would say this was one of the better ones of this year.
No, it was. It was.
But definitely Eddie the sheep was the voice of reason for the whole film.
Yeah.
He played the voice of reason for to Buster, who Buster was always trying to scheme something to save his own ass. I love the part where when the power goes out,
Buster was scheming. Like you're pulling for this guy. He pulled off so much illegal activity. It's insane.
he stole water from a water tower. He stole
So like
electricity.
just completely ignored OSHA. Like
It straight up blew off the bank until they were at his door.
yeah, this man right here, this man's in jail in real life.
Oh yeah, no, he's not walking about with a singing competition. No,
No. All right,
but
back to Eddie.
there's not really much to say. He didn't have that much screen time. I will say I felt really awkward during the car wash scene.
I think he was supposed to make you feel awkward though.
I think so too. I think it was supposed to make us feel awkward, but nonetheless, it was very awkward watching Buster like slide around and then watching Eddie like rub it. It was weird.
I didn't really like that scene that much. Like I get what they were trying to do, and I know they were trying to make you feel uncomfortable and pulling for him at the same time. But that might have been the low point of the movie for me.
Definitely. So I do believe, however, this movie was definitely about Buster. Buster was the main character. Despite us having, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other characters to focus on,
Yeah, yeah.
Buster, I think, was the main, like, this was his story.
Like it was the narrator at the beginning of the movie.
He was the narrator, but it's not the sense of he's narrating it as if he's not in it. No, he was in the story. He was the center of the story.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
Um,
really liked his story though. I liked the transformation he went through from being at the beginning of this film all the way up until like when the bank shows up and closes him down. He just didn't care. He wanted to save his own skin. He put himself as
I
the
don't think it
priority.
was. I don't think it was much of him trying to save his own. It was him obviously trying to save his own skin to start with, for selfish reasons. And then he turns around and he's like, you know what? It's about the performance.
No, that's what I was getting at though. After the bank
Okay.
shuts him down, he has that heart to heart with Eddie, and uh, he realizes all this time that it wasn't about the money or doing good. It was just about them putting on a good show
Yeah.
and doing what they wanted to. And
But
I think,
it never came off as selfish. What everything he was doing, I got an echo again. But everything he was doing to save the or save the theater, it never came off as selfish to me.
mm,
Like if you go back and look at it and you look at it with objective eyes, yeah, he's being selfish to save it, but he does a good job at convincing the viewers that he cares about his theater, which I think he
oh,
legitimately
just
cared
oh,
about
no
the
matter
theater.
what,
Yeah.
I do. He legitimately cared about that theater. I mean, he like to go from a 5 or 6 year old who your first time in the theater, that's immediately what you wanted to do with your life.
Yeah, and it never came off as one of those I only care about the money situations.
Oh no, no, he only cared about the money because he needed the money.
Yeah. To keep his theater.
Yeah. So now for the meat of the film.
The
Who do you want to start with?
Let's start with Matthew. Was it Matthew the gorilla?
Oh,
Johnny
Johnny.
the
Okay,
gorilla.
so Johnny was my favorite singer in the whole film. He not only, in my opinion, had the best voice, I think he also had the best song selections.
Well, he was a natural born singer.
He was, and they even write that down on
Yeah.
his audition sheet. Natural talent.
And
His
I loved the scene where they had him go back into the theater to try to steal the 100 grand, or
yeah, and
supposedly
then
100 grand, because that
and
gave off the feeling a lot of people will probably say, oh, he too quickly changed his mind or whatever. No, this is a guy, the only thing this person knows is thievery.
yeah, his whole life is based around being a thief. His dad was a thief. I'm sure his grandfather was. All of his dad's friends. That's all he knows. But I think that's his moment of realization. Like he always knew he
Yeah.
wanted to sing, but he didn't know that's what he wanted to do forever. And I think that moment was when he realized he wanted nothing more than to sing. However, I'm
No,
gonna go ahead
I
and
think that's more of he. That's the moment he realized that people believe in him.
maybe. I will say though, he did have the best song choices with his 3 songs.
What
I
were they
forget.
again?
I forget what I can never remember what the last one was, but the other two, the very first song was let's see. I would say the things I meant to say. I would say the things I meant to say to you by the Zombies. That's his opening song at the very beginning of the film, and then "Stay with Me." I forget who wrote it.
Yes, the Stay With Me song was very impactful. I
I
did recognize.
would love for the voice actor who played Johnny to release the whole song.
I want all the songs that are
Yes,
the voice actors to release the entire songs. I will buy this album. Like I
I
will
would buy
buy
it.
the album.
It would be like 100, maybe not 100. It would be an expensive album, like 30, $40, but I would buy that.
Yeah, if you put like you could just take 20, like the songs that were sung in the competition and put that in an album, just those 5 songs, and I would buy it.
Yeah. But easily though, in my opinion, I think Johnny was the best in the movie. Not only as a character, but I think he was best singer. And I also liked his arc the most. And it was real.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes in the movie is actually when his dad breaks out of jail and goes all the way to the stage just to tell him that he's proud.
Which is very impactful. Little cheesy, but it was done very well.
It was. It still gave it that sense of urgency.
Mm-hmm.
And it also went a lot. It also went really well with Mike's song that was playing in the background.
Yes, it did. Yes. Um, when it comes, then let's transition to Mike. You
Yeah.
brought him up. again, the lovable villain, the guy where most of the trouble comes from. The reason why the theater got mainly destroyed in the first place is because he's cheating out of money. I loved every single scene Mike was in. I loved it.
I also found I loved Mike. He was one of my favorite characters in the film.
I love
He
the arrogance, the just the complete arrogance he has.
was a sense of sass, I
Oh
guess I
yeah.
could say. But he was like he wasn't a villain. He was an anti-hero.
Yes.
And Mike was voiced by Seth MacFarlane, who I was very impressed with his big band voice. Very good job at replicating Frank Sinatra.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was Mike's specialty. He was the big band guy.
Mm-hmm. What I loved about him was when he got his car and thought he was a big shot. He just went around to the club, picked up his girlfriend, you know, and he
I don't
goes.
even know if we could call it his girlfriend. He just straight picked up a random
No, I
chick he
will.
thought
No,
was
I
hot.
will because remember she came back for him. Like she likes him too.
Yeah, yes.
But picked he picked her up, went around he made a few jokes. He made the one sex joke I caught in the movie. Like you know how all the anime movies have that one joke that goes over
Yeah,
everyone's head.
one joke.
Do you know which one it was?
No, I didn't. I don't think I caught it.
When they were leaving the club, he went, "Come on, honey, let's go cut some rug."
Oh, that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I also noticed he made what you could consider a few racist remarks throughout the film.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like this guy, you could tell he was not a kind fella.
This is a dude who belongs. Like, if we were to put as a person him into our world, he would be the dude who was around during the 40s, 50s, and 60s, who still was mature enough before the civil rights movement to where he
I
still had that
guess.
mindset.
Yeah, I guess actually that would make sense. But
Anyway,
this guy, I absolutely loved him. I loved his character. He didn't have much of an arc really until the very very end when he came around, and then I love the fact that he instantly left again too.
yeah,
Um,
he literally came there to make a point to prove a point that he could sing to those
yeah, I
kids.
loved that. I mean, they go, oh, you can't sing Pipsqueak, and he goes, you know what? I'll show you. I'll show you up. Went over there, sung in front of them, and they go, oh well, I guess he really can sing. I loved that.
And then just left.
I
Like it
was
was
going to
no
be
big
very
deal.
disappointed though. I'm so glad that they didn't give him a villain song, like a song, not a villain song as in a bad but a bad performance. I'm so glad that they did not give him a bad performance to like as
Oh
kind of
no.
a justice sort of thing. I love that they gave him a performance just as good as everyone else before he turned to the good side.
Yep. There was
He
not a
was still
single
yeah.
bad song in this film.
No, he was still a bad guy when he gave his performance, and he still came off the stage as a bad guy, and he wasn't turned until he saw Mina sing.
Yeah. So you brought up Mina. Let's jump to Mina now.
Okay.
So of the main singers, I actually thought Mina was the weakest link.
Singing wise or story wise?
Both.
Okay.
Her story didn't interest me that much. It was the least interesting.
Yeah.
And her song, it was one of the only songs in the film I didn't recognize.
Okay.
Not counting Ash's original song, because that's an original song.
Yeah, yeah.
And it didn't sit well with me. Maybe because it was that kind of pop in a way,
Okay.
which is odd because Rosita, I really liked her, but we'll get to her later. It had that gospel kind of feel to it.
Well, yeah, and I understand that, but I felt like they had to give her that because that was her style the entire
They
time.
had to. That's personally, I don't like that style. So
I'm not a big fan of it either, but I mean, they couldn't have gone with anything else for her.
maybe not. They could have gone with like an Adele song, maybe, or
Maybe. I don't quite remember the song that much.
I don't either. It was, and that's again,
Honestly, her grandpa.
that's one of the only performances in the movie that I don't remember.
Her grandpa, I loved.
Oh my god, her grandfather was was like the highlight of her arc.
He was. He stole the show every time he was in a scene. Like you could tell he really loved her and was giving her a hard time the entire time.
That's exactly how a grandfather is with his
Oh yeah.
granddaughter. It was the greatest thing. Um, but to me, she was the weakest. She was the weak link.
I think she was there mostly for the kids to identify with.
I
The
think so as well. Like, because everyone
Yeah.
else was so good at what they did.
Yeah, because every single one of these anime movies, they always have a character a kid can relate with. That's why you have Mater. That's why you have Jar Jar. And I'm not saying
Zootopia
that
didn't
she
have
I'm
that.
not saying that she's bad. I'm not in that sense. I'm
I'm
just
just
saying is that she's one of those kind of characters.
well, discussion for later. But save this. Zootopia didn't have that.
No, it didn't.
We'll talk about that
Okay.
in a later video.
Yeah, we'll talk about Zootopia later. All right.
But to me, she was the weak link. There is really. I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but I can't.
Yeah,
Oh, hey,
it's hard to.
update from Ben, our third person of the loose cannons, who's not with us right now. He is currently watching the live stream and commentating.
Oh, he's making comments. Oh, I
Uh,
can't see him because I'm looking at pictures.
I'll look at it.
All right.
But yeah, so let's go to Ash next.
All right. Ash was my favorite. Ash, I get an echo again. It's hard to talk. Ash was easily my favorite of all the singers, except for Mike, because I just like Mike because he's an evil mouse, and how can you not like that? But I loved Ash. I loved her story arc with her boyfriend because I don't think the boyfriend split up because he didn't like her anymore. I think the boyfriend split up because he wanted to further his own career. Obviously, I love the fact that she wore that the glasses of the girl who stole her boyfriend in her performance.
Yes, I thought that was a great little thing.
Yeah, I pointed that out to the person I was at the movie theater with. And I absolutely adored her song. All right.
Her original song.
Yeah, the song that she sang on stage
Yeah,
in the performance when she just started out stomping, it threw me off guard. I was not expecting her to just start stomping like that, and everybody else gets into it, and then I got into it in my seat, and it felt very powerful. And
it really gave me a feeling at the beginning of her song when she started stomping. It really gave me the feel of "We Will Rock You" by Queen.
it does give you a Queen feel, doesn't it?
But it's not the early. It's the late Queen that was like super
Yeah,
hard rock.
yeah. I never thought of that. I'm glad you pointed that out. Now I can see it. It does give you a really good Queen feel to it.
I also one of the songs that she did that I really liked a lot was when she was with Buster and he was trying to convince her to wear the dress and to sing a pop song. I loved her rendition of "Call Me Maybe." That was
Yes.
great.
I actually wanted to see a performance of her doing a pop song, like a full one.
I was
Like
really
this.
hoping going into this film that we would get not just the one song, we would get like multiples.
That's one thing I was disappointed in.
There
We
was
didn't.
another thing I was disappointed in. I really wanted there to be one big group song at the end.
Not really. I don't like those things. I don't like group songs. No, but with Ash, I thought it would have been really funny to see Ash go out do a very sarcastic rendition of a pop song and have it be good. Like people actually view her as a pop star, even though she's being sarcastic, just because
Yeah,
she has that much natural talent in singing. I thought that
yeah,
would have been
that
fantastic.
would have been great.
But I love where they went with the original song, and the original song being about her boyfriend and the struggle that she had gone through to get there. And it was just great. She was my favorite character. Great character design, by the way. The only problem I had in her performance is when she started throwing out prickles, it kind of took away from the performance.
Yeah, and I think that was just another thing for kids. I think that was supposed to be a comedy thing.
A little comedic relief. I think well, obviously, this is a kids' movie, and we're adults criticizing a kids' movie about this, but when in a perfect universe, I would have the kid version of this movie, and then I'd have the 100% trying adult version of
Yeah,
this movie. And the adult version, Mina would be a little more mature, little less kiddie inspirational, and
I
there
don't
wouldn't
think
be
there'd
that.
be any, I don't think there'd be any, I don't think there would be much change in the song choices though.
No, there would be almost
across versions.
no change. Also, Mike would be a lot worse.
He would be he'd probably be an alcoholic.
Yes, he would.
Um,
Which that would be hysterical.
that would be great. So,
No,
uh,
it'd be great to see Mike go out completely drunk, tear the house down, having a fantastic performance, and like barely hobble back off stage.
and like fall over while he tries to walk off stage.
Wouldn't that
Uh,
be great?
that'd be great. So before we get to the last big singer, we have to talk about Gunter.
Okay, good. Which, by the way, was the guy that they were selling this movie on.
Yeah,
The guy, and
they
he was
sold
barely
the
in it.
movie on him, and he had less than 10 minutes of screen time.
Barely in the movie. Fantastic character. Any scene he was in, he was glorious.
He obviously, from the trailers, was the comedic relief.
But he never felt like it.
It was well placed, well executed, and it was what Jar Jar Binks should have.
Adult humor, though. It wasn't kiddie humor. It was a humor that we laugh at.
He made quite a few, like not as big as the cut a rug joke, but he made quite a few smaller sexual innuendos.
Oh, of course.
Like the whole fire thing.
Yes.
That was a straight up sex joke if I've ever heard one.
He also when he tore off his thing and he had his
when Rosita walks in and he tears off his clothes and she just covers her eyes, and then he has like a
what are those called?
Spandex?
Yeah. On like the
like
but his energy, like he was never down, like he didn't even have an arc at all, barely even touched. He was just there just to be Rosita's like
he was there I think as the support for Rosita.
He
because
was.
Rosita, you could argue, had the weakest arc.
Also, he never came off as a prick. When I was in the trailers, he kind of came off as a prick. When in the little scene they always show in the trailers is, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "Yes, I'm fine."
How about you?
Yeah, how are you? It seemed like he was going to come up. He seemed like he was going to come off as a character that didn't care about anyone else.
Kind of like a second Mike.
Yeah, second Mike, but he never did.
No, like, in the film, he's just a lovable idiot.
Yes. Well, I wouldn't even put him as an idiot. He just loved to sing and perform, and he loved it when other people sang and performed.
It was literally his passion.
Yes.
So now that we've talked about Mike, though, my second favorite. No, actually, my third, because Mike was my second. Rosita.
Oh yes, she did a great job.
She did have my second favorite arc, though.
She was the number one. She was like the most sold of the main characters in the trailers. She did a really good job. Behind Johnny, had easily the best arc.
Oh yeah, Rosita was great. I loved her. I love the way that we were introduced to her with dealing with 25 kids, which I thought was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
There's your sex joke from her arc. But I love the way that we're introduced to her. She's cleaning dishes while her 25 kids are eating breakfast behind her, and she's just singing Katy Perry.
Yes.
That's such a mom thing to do. And they couldn't have played it any better.
I know, right? Her singing and dancing in the grocery store. I know we saw it in the trailer. Still a great scene.
Oh yeah. I think it gets better actually when you see the movie, because just before that, we see her with like all these mats of the steps to the song she and Gunter are going to do, and she just cannot get it down. And Gunter literally says, "Forget that. Just let it happen."
Mm-hmm.
I forget what she sung at the end of the film with
her and Gunter.
Yeah.
Whatever it was,
it was a pop song.
Yeah, it was a pop song. Whatever it was funny at first. The dick news coverage guy was like, "Are you all laughing at this too?" And then she came out, and I'm really happy that she didn't have a thing for Gunter either. I'm really happy that
her marriage stayed strong.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy about that, because I was really worried when they had that embrace at the end of her song that it was strictly performance-wise, and Norman came out in support of his wife at that point.
I was very happy about that as well. I was glad to see that they didn't cross that line.
Yeah, I was so worried they were about to, though.
They pushed it literally as close as they could without crossing it, and that was a smart move on their part.
Yeah. And that's all the main characters, right?
Uh, Rosita, Mike, Ash, Eddie, Johnny,
Oh,
Mina.
the little Korean
Oh
corgis.
yeah, we have to talk about the little Korean or Chinese, whatever they were, foxes. Literally, only two things that were great about them. One, they were consistently funny,
Yes.
and two, the absolute best scene of them was when Buster tried to translate something
Yeah.
and he mistranslated, and just one of the main little, we'll call them foxes, walks up and just slaps him, and they storm out of the building.
That scene was so great. That whole every single like you never expected them when they showed up.
Oh no, never. And they kept him out of the trailers, which was genius.
Yeah.
Um, I did have one major problem with the film, and
Okay.
it was the buffalo and snail.
The fart jokes.
Not only the fart jokes, but they were in the trailers, they were given such a prominent role.
Okay. I never noticed the buffalo in the trailers, but I did notice the snail.
Yeah, the buffalo and the snail were given such a prominent appearance in the trailers, which I actually think, now that I kind of look back at it, it was a good idea because it throws you off the trail of what the film is actually about.
Yeah.
But the farting buffalo scene, I could have done without.
Me too. That's obviously for the kids.
Other than that, though, oh, I will say I did like the singing frogs, the frog trio.
Yeah, and they stormed out. I never really connected with them, and I know you weren't supposed to, but them storming, like I knew they were going to storm out from the very beginning.
Yeah, I did like the song they did though. It was a song by the Beach Boys. I forget which one. It was either God Only Knows or it was some song by the Beach Boys, and I really liked the song.
I don't think their performance wasn't enough for me if I was Buster to leave them in.
I don't know. So if you had to pick the best song from the entire film,
Well, see, here's the problem. I don't remember the names of any of the songs.
okay, and just tell me who sang it and when they sang it.
All right. Well, my favorite performance in the show was Ash's at the very end.
Okay, so her original song.
Yeah.
All right. My favorite. Oh God, Ben's asking, what about the rabbits?
The rabbits.
Yeah, the three bunnies who sang Anaconda.
Oh yeah, yeah. Those guys. We mentioned that already, Ben. But that was a funny little. I wanted to, I actually once I saw him in the movie, I wanted to see him again.
Yeah,
Wasn't there a scene in the trailer of them in a car?
yeah, there was. None of those car scenes made it into the film,
None of them.
strictly for the trailers, which was
Yep.
interesting.
They might be deleted scenes.
They might be, or they might have been. I guess you could say audition tapes.
They could have been. I thought that would have been fantastic to see them one more time or driving.
I mean, we did see them one more time in the audience at the end of the
Yeah.
movie, but like a real scene. So my favorite performance of the entire film was Johnny when he sings "Stay with Me," and it's only like maybe 15 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to go from the end of the film, it's still Johnny.
Yeah. His was obviously very impactful because that was the character that they sold you on the most inside the movie. They told you the most about, and they're trying to get you to connect with the most. They had to make his performance grand.
Definitely, they really sold on in the trailers that this movie was actually about Johnny. They
I got
really
more. I
sold
got.
that.
I had from the trailers. I had more of a feel of Rosita.
I got the feeling of Johnny because like every trailer had the scene of him talking to his dad through the glass window in the
True.
jail.
Also, I completely forgot about the glass window in the jail scene from the trailers. It caught me off guard. It
Yeah.
honestly did when they got caught. I completely forgot they were going to get caught.
All in all, though, this was definitely one of the. It was a really good animated film for this year. Great addition, or not this year, from last year, along with all the others. Easily one of the one of my new favorite animated films. A lot of people didn't like it. I certainly really liked it though.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite non-Disney animated films now.
And I was really glad to see Illumination Entertainment get away from Despicable Me and Minions. I
Yeah,
was
I
glad to
am
see them
too.
try something else.
Although the new trailer I saw for this movie was pretty funny.
The one for it being in theaters finally.
Despicable Me 3.
Oh no, I haven't seen any of those.
Yeah, it's just the new trailer for Despicable Me. Despicable. I accidentally said Despicable Memes. Despicable Me 3 was actually a good trailer. And still not enough to sell me on the movie, but they did a good job making that trailer. All right, thank you guys for watching. This was our review of
Sing by Illumination Entertainment.
2016. They did a great job. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe this video. It helps us out a ton. First off, viewing it helps us out. Thanks for that, obviously, and hopefully you like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at the Loose Canons. That's really our only social media account at this moment.
And don't worry, Ben will be back starting on the 11th
Yeah, he's in Washington D.C. right now.
on, we'll say, business.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. This is Maddux,
And this is Jacob signing
and
out.
this is the Loose Cannons.
Bye.